Hi, everybody. My name is Kellyann Campbell. I am from Okeechobee County School District, and I work at Yearling Middle School. Um, I am currently teaching 8th grade pre-algebra, and I've kind of had a unique situation when it comes to my students in the cadre. Um, I am currently in my third year as the math instructional coach here at Yearling, but we've had some teachers that have left or needs to be replaced, and that created a need for me to go back into the classroom for the remainder of the year. So about November, I started with the group of students that I have now. And these students, when I came in, it was like a complete culture shock to them. They had a teacher previously that wasn't really ever at school. They've had some long-term subs and things, so they never really had much structure or much learning going on within the classroom. So when I came in, it was a little bit of a fight. We had to create structure and they were learning every day and they weren't really too into that, of course. But when I got my first survey results from PERTS, one of my lowest categories that I had was in the classroom community condition. So, which I kind of expected. I didn't really have a relationship with my students from the beginning of the year. They didn't really like me when I came in at the beginning of the year. They didn't think that I cared about them, which was kind of upsetting because as a teacher, a lot of us focus on relationships and know that if our students know that we care about them or we build a relationship with them, that they'll do anything for you when you have that relationship. And sometimes it's crazy, how much they really end up loving you when it comes to that. But one of the strategies that the condition gave was having community circles. So I kind of read into it, and as a math team, we started implementing community circles. Um, Okay, sorry about that. So I began implementing community circles. We came together as a department and we came up with some different topics that we started to use. We did this once a week, and some of the things that we do with these community circles is I implement a talking piece. So my talking piece is just something, and the students know when they have that talking piece that they're allowed or able to talk. If they don't, then they're not. And some of our teachers put their students in an actual circle. I don't. I teach 8th grade, and they would be like, "What is this crazy lady doing? I'm not sitting crisscross applesauce in a circle." No. So we just sit at our desk, but we have a talking piece that they use to talk. When they have it, they're allowed to talk. If not, it kind of goes a little bit crazy, and everyone's talking at the same time. So we have some questions that are just geared to our school specifically. I'm going to also put the document in the chat so you can make a copy of it and edit it if you would like to use it for yourself. We also have some ending quotes. You can use that as a beginning quote if you wanted to kind of get your students started on that. But the topics change. It goes into bullying. It talks about are there different advantages for boys and girls? How do you know when there's a trusted adult? Has anything ever been unfair? You can add things about what happens, like what's their favorite thing to do after school, just anything that you can start to let your students know that you care about what's going on with them, how they feel. And then it just kind of makes it a time for you guys to talk. I try to cap it at about 15 minutes once a week. Depending on the class, as you all know, some of them like to talk a lot and some of them don't. So that really just depends on the class that you have. But it creates a trust relationship with your students, a positive relationship with your students in the classroom. One thing that I like to say is try to stay away from controversial topics. You know, students hear a lot of different things from a lot of different people in their lives, and it's just not something that I want to go near or around or have come up. So that's something that we try to stay away from. But it's really helped, I think, my students realize that I am there to stay. I think that was their biggest thing is, oh, are you just another person coming in? I am there to try to help them, and I am there to care about what they're doing. So it's just a really good way to build a classroom culture, and it's really impacted my survey results like tremendously. It's crazy from the first one. And I was like some of the other teachers, I didn't tell them what I was doing. I just looked at the strategies and I was like, okay, this doesn't seem too bad. Let me try that. And it's really helped. So I would love to answer any questions. If you have any suggestions for me, if you've done this before, anything that you guys have.
I've done this before in like a previous year because my school was all about like last year having those community circles. But this was before, like currently we have 7 periods, which are less than 50 minutes. And so last year when we had 6, we had the time every single day. They had wanted us to have a classroom circle. So every single day we were spending 5 to 10 minutes. And so it's been a struggle this year. We're like, we can't fit that in. So I like how you had shared that, you know, you only do it once a week and it's for 10, 15 minutes. So it's nice to hear like that is still providing some positive effects to the classroom, because we have, as a school, at my school, we have gone from doing it every single day to now not at all. So it's nice to kind of get that as a suggestion that I can bring back to my school and be like, hey, yeah, we don't have the time to do this every single day, but that doesn't mean we can't do it at least once a week. So thank you for sharing.
Some of my other teachers may just cap it at however many students they want to talk that day. So you may have a thing like once a week, we only have 5 kids talk, or whatever may work for you. I completely understand what you mean about time crunch. You have a ton of standards to teach, right? We're all there. We are luckily in a unique situation where we have block, and we teach the same block every day. So we do have a little bit of extra time, which makes it more doable. But it's definitely able to be modified to fit into your schedule. But like you said, every day to no days, like you need a little bit of compromise in there. So.
I love the idea of these community circles. I teach geometry, but I also teach global perspectives. So in my global perspectives class, we're doing a lot of these kind of taking other people's perspectives, talking about them, discussing them, debating them, that type of thing. And I teach my students that I have for global perspectives, I also have them in geometry. So it could be that I have them twice as much, that I have a better connection with them, but it also could be that I'm doing global perspective type stuff with them and getting that kind of communication. And I know that those 2 groups of students, I have much better connections to. I know more about them. They feel than those other 2 groups that I only have for geometry. So I love the idea of bringing some of that global perspectives kind of stuff into my math class.
Yeah, and definitely I told one of the other groups, like, start small, right? Like, even if you start in one class once a week, get your feet wet, see how it's going, and then move on from there. And don't think that you can't start it today. Like, I know it's the end of the year and we're all in crunch time, but once a week, one class, and just see, and then get your feet wet, and then next year jump right in, and hopefully you'll be able to build better relationships than you have, or get more connected than you already do with your students. So definitely, that's very interesting, Michelle, but I really think that that's probably why you are so much more connected with them.
Yeah, it could be the time, but it also could be that they've got that freedom, that we have discussions, we share our ideas and that type of thing. And they do it very respectfully. I'm surprised how well they do as 8th graders to be able to discuss these topics and be respectful and accepting of each other, even when our perspectives are different.
Yes, and I think laying that out too, like this is a safe space and we all have to respect each other. That's extremely important too, because if you set those ground rules from the beginning, then it doesn't give them that opportunity to kind of
Yeah, I
stray
mean,
away
we
from
always
it.
tell them, you know, we all have our own opinion and we're not here to change anybody's opinion, but we do have to respect everyone's opinion. And they
Totally
do
agree.
a great job with that.
That's awesome. Well, it was so nice meeting you all. Thank you so much for listening
Thank
to me.
you.
And if you have any questions, just let me know. Kyler, can you